there's a lot there, right? There's a lot to know. This camera here, the Blackmagic 6K, Pocket 6K, has a native aspect ratio of 400. You'll basically see that at 400, you have room for your highlights to bring them back into line with perfect exposure. You have room in your shadows to bring them back in line with perfect exposure. I guess the two things, I lied about the charts. The two things that you're going to need to know about Blackmagic Raw, right, is just two expressions. One is called log and one is called linear. And they're a lot simpler than they potentially appear to be. What I mean about the kind of different image qualities for these different color spaces. So like the shadows are clearly brought up, the highlights are clearly brought down to like this very contained range, and very different to the other image. As you can see, the top image is the log B-raw, and the bottom image is the linear B-raw with a stylistic look on top of it. So, you know, there's a certain look that's kind of there, kind of saturated. Well, it's very even, but it's a little bit stylized. You've got power, you've got your storage, and you might want to have other accessories. So you might want to affix the monitor on top. So you'll decide if it's a super low shot, you might want to have a longer magic arm. We have different compression options, and then immediately you can see when I select RAW, the resolutions at the bottom, there's way more options. So in ProRes, you only have DCI 4K, UHD, and HD. In RAW, you have a lot more to choose from, right? This is like super useful. So false color expresses the exposure of a frame by applying a spectrum of colors over whatever it is you're shooting. So now we're set up.
Okay, so this is what you're capturing, and this is what you're planning for it to look.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, what I kind of prefer is like if there's a clean feed here where it's just your image, and then if all the messy metadata and information is just kept here. Well, I like to begin with this because then I can add more lights, or I can take some lights away. Otherwise, if you were to remove the fill, it would just be quite, chiaroscuro or kind of quite harsh, quite stylized. But you want a neutral kind of expression, I suppose, perhaps. And then you can see the hair light or the fill, or sorry, the backlight, just kind of giving a little bit of a touch there, because otherwise that whole shoulder would just be dark. And you can download like the meter where it explains what the colors are. But around that level is probably the best that we can push and pull in post. And you can see down here lookup tables. So what is our input lookup table? What is our output lookup table? Resolve pretty much has like a load of different camera style that's already in there, but it doesn't have ours. So we can just go down here, and you open the look folder, and then you just drag your looks in to get most of, the full gamut of your picture. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that way if you're, if you're working with a very stylized. There's lots of different ways of applying effects. What you'll want to do is every time you want to create a new version of your film, you want to consolidate that big, messy, busy timeline that is probably connected to around, hopefully not, but it happens, a couple of different drives that you need to plug in to make it all appear online on your computer, on the software. So what you do is you kind of consolidate, and you would create what is called a DSM, your digital source master.
Are those the best? For a master?
Yes, I would generally go between XQ and quadruple 4. Sorry, your frame rate's off there.
Yeah. Oh, that was so great. They'd love that. I bet you love that, Dean. So it tells you the frame rate's off. Yeah. Really appreciate that feedback.
Wait.